All right.
She ready?
Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Community Development Advisory Board meeting for the 13th of September 2021. At this time, I will call to order and conduct a roll call. Charles Davis, here.
Ralph Taylor, here.
Ellen Bogdan, here.
Mike Seifert, here.
I see that we have a quorum, so we can proceed. I ask for a motion to have the minutes of the April 12th, 2021 meeting
Approved?
approved.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, that motion carries. The minutes are approved.
No, you have to vote.
Oh, apologize.
Not a problem.
All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries 4-0. The minutes are approved. I'll turn it over to you now, right?
You can.
I'd like to do
the
that.
next-
I want to make sure we're on
The
track.
next thing on the agenda is the election of a board chair and vice chair for this upcoming year of 2021-22. I think you need to take motion from the floor if anybody wants to nominate themselves or others.
Okay,
Why don't you start with chair first?
absolutely. Does anybody desire to nominate anybody to be the board chair?
I nominate you to continue on with your good service as board chair.
Would you accept?
Sure, absolutely, I accept.
Okay.
All in favor, I can
yes.
ask for vote? All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. I will continue as the board chair. Do I have a nomination for somebody to become the vice chair or continue as the vice chair?
Continue as the vice chair.
Ralphie, come on.
I nominate to continue as the vice chair. Ralph?
Rob?
I accept.
Okay.
All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Ralph continues as the vice chair.
Okay.
Now, I need a motion to open the public hearing for the Cape 2020-2021 CAPER.
So moved.
I'll second.
So I have a movement and a second to open the public hearing. So the public hearing is now open, or do I need to do a vote?
Vote.
Usually that, I mean, it is a point of
Order, right?
I mean, is when I was chair, it was just open that's
Okay.
something the chairman can open,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
if that's.
Yeah.
So I declare the public hearing open, and I'm gonna hand it over to you.
Okay.
Staff comment.
So the CAPER report is the comprehensive annual performance and evaluation report. This is basically HUD's requirement for us to report to them what we have done with their money over the course of the year. This has been an interesting year because we got not just this CDBG award, but we got 2 additional CDBG awards for the COVID-related, which are not really included in this report. This report just focuses on the Community Development Block Grant, our regular entitlement grant. And so for the regular entitlement grant, I'll just go ahead and review kind of what we did. And then if there's no citizen comment, then we can go ahead and vote on the report. So for this year, what we did was we did our home repair program. We didn't have as many applications because a lot of people were sheltering in place. Part of that time, we weren't going out to people's homes to do evaluations. But we did repair 15 homes. That was down from what we had projected we were going to be able to do, but we did 15. Our home ownership assistance program served 4. Again, we had hoped for more. The market was so tight because of COVID and because just the pent-up demand of so many people wanting to get into the market. It was a challenging market for home ownership for us. In addition, we did the neighborhood stabilization program where we take structures that have been designated by the city commission as blighted and/or unsafe in the community. And if the person that owns those structures is not willing to repair those, we will demolish those with CDBG money. We demolished 5 residential structures. One of those was a multiplex up on 5th Street. So we did those. And then the last major project we did was we provided partial funding along with the Public Works Department to replace a private sewer line that ran along Olive Street that served low, moderate income people. And the expense of replacing a private sewer line is very expensive, and so that's why we stepped in to help with that, because it was something that those homeowners would not be able to afford on their own, and yet, as a city, we need to have that repaired because of Environmental Protection Agency issues and so forth. So that sewer line served 15 low, moderate income residents, and we completed that project. Then the last thing we did with our CDBG funding was we funded public service agencies in the community, and they saw almost double the amount of people that they usually see. So it was a big stretch for our public service agencies in town. Our funding provides rent or utility assistance to those agencies, the agencies themselves, to be able to provide the services that they provide. And so they served 13,311 individuals, so that's a large total. Now, some of those will be overlaps because they may have gone to multiple agencies, and we don't have a way to track that very easily, so we report the full amount from each agency. Each agency reports unduplicated clients that they see, but again, they could be duplicates from one agency to the other. So that's what we did with the CDBG funding in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Okay?
I have
Any
a question.
questions? Yes, Ralph.
Question, I was asked, I guess about a couple weeks ago, does, do this board operate for Lansing also for low-income families?
No, sir.
Just Leavenworth?
No, sir. Yeah, this money is awarded to Leavenworth, the city of Leavenworth, directly as an entitlement city. And so it serves the corporate limits of the city of Leavenworth.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
So just as an observation, I mean, the fact that it's one of those things where we could have saw this coming based on the pandemic, to the amount of folks that we're gonna be seeing at these, you know, almost double, like you said, based on, you know, if your work on a fringe basis and you can't, and I mean, I don't even know what to use as an example, but we're talking about folks that were probably not working a whole lot or
There were lots of industries that were impacted by that, the service industry, the travel industry. Lots of small businesses had to lay off some of their staff.
and I have to believe that, and those folks were part of the numbers that were involved.
Absolutely. Those are the people that we serve. They had to have well, for this money, they didn't have to have a COVID-related need, but for the CDBG CV money,
Yeah.
which we will be doing a report on later.
Yeah.
Once we've wrapped up that funding, that money, they had to have a COVID-related need, and yet we've gone through a large amount of money in providing aid to those people who, to help them be able to stay in their homes
Yeah,
and
understand that.
eat, things like that.
I know I'm speaking on everybody's behalf. We're grateful that that was something that was,
Those agencies
Provided.
worked really hard, and they did a good job for the city, I think. I've kept in touch with all of them, and I think they did a really good job for the city. So, anybody have any other questions or anything that you'd like to discuss about the report? You got a copy of the report in your packet. A lot of it is statistical in nature, and that's just government. But we fill it out because that's what they ask
Fill in
us
the
to do.
blanks.
That's right. If there's no other questions, seeing that we have no one in the audience, I think you could go ahead and close the public hearing.
okay, based on your advice, seeing that there's nobody here to speak in the open public hearing, I'm going to motion to close the public hearing. And I will call it closed based on that.
I move to approve the 2020-21 Caper final plan.
We need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries 4-0. We approve the 2020-2021 Caper final plan.
Okay, so that'll go then forward to the city commission with your recommendation. And I'll take that forward.
Awesome.
Under other matters and correspondence, just something that I would like to mention, and we can discuss this more at a future meeting. We are getting ready to do our new 5-year plan. The consolidated plan is a 5-year plan. We are in the last year of it actually got extended a year and a little bit because of
Obvious.
a government request that we add the affirmative fair housing information in there. And so when we did that, they extended the 5-year plan to 5 years from the date that that was submitted so that it was all consistent. We will be doing a new 5-year plan. I will be doing that, much to my surprise. So, I would like, if I'm gonna do the plan, I wanna do as strong a plan as we can. I would like to get community input. We don't always get a lot of community input in these things. These are the things I'm thinking about as ways to strengthen. Last time they did the 5-year plan, it was right before I started. They did a SurveyMonkey survey for the community at large to be able to give input, which I thought was really helpful because it allowed people to respond to a couple of questions, just real short, sharp questions, but at any time.
Yeah.
You know, they could, if they wanted to have input, they could do that. So I think that I would like to do that again, but in addition to that, I'd like to do some focus groups with public service agencies and focus groups with professionals that work with our programs, like banks and mortgage companies and realtors that work with the home ownership program, with repair people and again, other people that might be working with us on home repair program, just to be able to get kind of a more well-rounded view of our programs some things we might want to tweak. So do that for some focus groups, and then to address getting to people who are in a lower income bracket. I've been talking with Sister Vicki Perkins about maybe doing a collaborative housing survey at one of the community meals, where we would try and do something kind of innovative to get people to respond. So we're looking at, right now they're picking those meals up, so we're looking at having some kind of a car survey where they can pull over, fill it out, some kind of an incentive to do that. And if they do that and turn it in, then there'll be some kind of a small incentive, just a small incentive. So those are the three ways I've thought of. I would like you to think of those ideas and other ideas that you think we might be able to use to address getting some input into our study. It's not just information about our actual programs, but it's also information about housing in general in our city.
And where to focus.
Where to focus.
Gotcha.
Right. So, that's all I'm probably gonna drop about the 5-year plan at this point, but I am gonna probably call us a meeting either at the end of October, beginning of November, just so we can talk about it again. Well, maybe, our meeting date actually is the middle of October or the middle of November, so it'll be one of the two of those. Okay?
Sounds good.
Anybody, any questions or thoughts? This is generally a pretty short meeting because it's just the approval of the plan, but we'll work on the 5-year plan as we go forward.
And the 5-year plan, one of the good things about it is, we can set up activities and ideas to fund in the next 5 years without having to go through a lot of changes to the plan.
Right,
meetings,
right.
Public hearings.
But we
think-
can also make some changes as it,
We can. What I'd like to do this time is make it a little broader, so that we don't have to do amendments, because those amendments, we have to advertise and we have to have a meeting, and nobody likes extra meetings if
so
we
the
can help
advice
it.
is to keep it broad.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I would,
It's an easy time to do changes.
yeah, I would suggest that we look as broad a scope, cast a broad net for the 5 years.
Sure.
And then each one of the individual annual action plans, which is the 1-year plan, that has to be quite specific.
Absolutely.
So I think that's how we'll go forward. We'll look at that.
Makes sense.
All right? Need a motion to adjourn?
As I said, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everyone, for